Well, I've spent the past few months tucked away in my cave lacking ideas for content. So many crazy things have happened. We got an Assassin's Creed product announcement that approximately 3 people care about. Donald Trump started selling Bibles mixed with the Constitution. And Outlaws of Thunder Junction not only got announced, but turned out to be a really solid core set framework that is very, very confusing to understand. And what I mean by that is there are 5 different set codes you can get inside of this one set, which might make it difficult for the casual player to understand what's going to be legal where and how exactly you're going to determine that. So without further ado, let's jump into the video and break down collecting Outlaws at Thunder Junction. Alright guys, thanks so much for being here. I know it's been a while since I've made videos. A bit of writer's block, whatever you want to call it, just kind of waiting for the motivation. I could only take so many emails from YouTube telling me I needed to come back and make videos because it's been 70 days. So here we are. I kid, but I am actually really excited to be back. And I've got a lot of things I want to do going forward, especially things that aren't just Magic related or maybe veer off into like some more deep-rooted conversations within the Magic the Gathering world versus just covering new cards. But don't worry, still going to cover the new cards. But in this video, before I can even really start to talk about the new cards in upcoming videos, I thought it'd be important to just do a brief video kind of covering what actually you can get in Thunder Junction and how to understand collecting sets. So the best way to do that to start is going to be to go over the 5 different expansion symbols that are available in this set. But literally taking that "this town ain't big enough for the 2 of us" joke from the whole Western cowboy thing and really kind of, you know, hitting the nail right on the head. So for Outlaws of Thunder Junction, for the main core set, the standard legal cards is OTJ. That is going to be the expansion symbol with the cowboy hat. Then we have OTC, which is the commander, obviously cards that are new to the commander decks, cards that are going to be legal in any Eternal formats, but not legal in Standard, Modern, Pioneer, etc., unless, of course, they already are. And then the occasional new card that's created as part of Commander that's, like, only in, you know, boosters, collector boosters, whatever. But that, anything with the OTC set code is going to be either, you know, Commander, Vintage, and Legacy, or formats that's already available. OTP is another expansion in this set that is a poster sheet similar to the Mythical Archives from Strixhaven and the different inserts. Wilds of Eldraine had the Enchanting Tales, etc. These are all reprints of some pretty darn good cards, and there are some actual kind of banger hits in here, but also some uncommons and other cards that, you know, aren't great. The OTP expansion is not standard legal unless the cards are already legal in Standard, but there are a lot of really solid cards, and I believe you're guaranteed to get at least 1 OTP per pack, and collector boosters do have the chance of more, obviously. That's been the way they've kind of always done it with those inserts. You do have, you know, special different variants and stuff. We've got the big expansion symbol, and I think this is probably where it gets a little bit confusing, because this is the big score, and this set was originally supposed to be its own thing, similar to March of the Machine Aftermath with the collector and epilogue boosters that they had, but as we know, that set bombed because it was absolutely terrible, and so as a result of that, they decided instead of trying to sell another epilogue booster product, they went ahead and just pushed it into the set.
We should take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else!
It's alright, because the big score does have a lot of really cool cards, but it's just going to be a little more challenging to pull, and that's because it's only available in the list slot. Now, though, it also shares a list slot with our final symbol, which is the Special Guest, SPG, so you can pull Special Guests and cards from the big score out of the list slot. There are no generic, like, list inserts like you see in other products. So it's just this, which is obviously good because it would muddy the water even more if you had other random list cards in there too. And with this set, they are increasing the likelihood of list cards appearing up to 20% instead of the usual much lower percentage that we've seen for boosters more recently. So, big is standard legal, which is a bit tricky because usually these subsets within a set are not, but again, because it was supposed to be its own product and combined, it along with OTJ are standard legal. The OTP is only legal if it's already legal in Standard and so on for other formats. And then of course OTC is going to be the commander cards and cards for other Eternals. If you've already just like started racking your head wanting to smash it against the wall because of the amount of words that I've said, I'm right there with you. I had to sit there and reread and re-record this a couple times just to get a solid breakdown, but those are the 5 different types of things that you can actually get in the set. What's really cool about it is that there are some actual really strong cards getting reprints for that OTP. Cards like Mana Drain, an absolute staple in so many decks and formats, getting a reprint. That card always ends up being worth that money, so it's nice to see it here. Oko, Thief of Crowns, obviously banned in a lot of formats that are not eternal, is getting a reprint here in this showcase style, so another really cool, you know, card option. I really like this poster sheet. I think some artworks just look incredible, some a little bit less so, but everyone's going to have their preferences. At least, though, having a subset within a set does give a bit more, you know, of an edge, I guess, to some of the actual value in it. So you do have that going for you. We don't really know too much yet about, like, any commander cards at the time I'm recording this, because the reveals are supposed to start today, so probably a topic for a little bit later in the week. But we do know that the big score cards are also going to have, you know, special raised foil treatments and stuff that you can only get in collector boosters. That's fine. I know people don't love the, you know, exclusive to collector boosters. It can be a little tricky to try to figure out stuff to collect, but if you look at the graph on the screen here, which I get directly from Wizard's site, it does kind of break down where you can find these certain cards, and obviously the ones that are exclusive to the, you know, collector boosters are going to be the vault styles and the textured cards. It's fine. You're not missing out on anything, really. I would always advise, you know, if you're going to be chasing specific cards like that, you're better off going for the singles anyway. But there is a good inclusion of things you can pull in here. And obviously, being able to get those list cards, borderless cards, special guests, what have you, in the actual play boosters does make the value of the play boosters a little bit more worth it than if you could only get them in collector boosters. So there's kind of that going for it. This set as a whole looks really fun, and I'm kind of excited to be able to, like, get my hands on a lot of the cards and see what's going to be happening with them. And the inclusion of the big score expansion definitely will shake up the format, because there are some really powerful cards in there too, including some cards that will be standard legal that weren't prior but are not new. So, some food for thought. This is just a simple breakdown of actually collecting the set, which I think is probably kind of important in order to look at the bigger picture to see these sets. And as we go through and talk about these upcoming cards and these expansions and stuff in the coming days, I just think it's important to understand what means what and have this as a bit of a guide. So you'll see on the screen here, I do have all 5 expansion symbols showing. These are all the things you can pull in the set. So we're going to start going through them, and we're going to talk about the big score first, just because it's a bit more unique, while also covering special guests and everything in the coming days. So if you guys want to check those videos out, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments down below if you are as confused as I was by the absolute craziness of all these different set codes packed into this one thing. I don't understand why they can't just make it a little bit more simple, but I digress. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.